over her face. He said that he thought she was dead, and a couple of seconds later, she just took one big gasp for air, and that he said, "Oh," and then he showed me his hand. He said he put the pillow on her face, but then he said he did this with his hand where her nose was, where her nose and mouth were. He said he did this area tighter so he would be sure to suffocate her.
Finally, Carrie was not moving. No breath, no heartbeat. And then Vanessa says Matt told her he finished the plot on the couple's bedroom computer.
He said he typed out the suicide note, printed it, then he said he ran her hand all around the sides of it and put her fingerprints all over it in case they checked for fingerprints. Then he said that he locked the door and left.
From the woman Matt had wanted to be his replacement wife, damning first-hand testimony. But would it be enough for the jury?
All right, bring in the jury.
That was probably the hardest part of the whole trial for me, was her. She just had lied so many times, and I'm just one of those, once a liar, always a liar.
When we return.
Matt Baker is on trial for the murder of his wife, Carrie. The other woman in his life has already testified he plotted Carrie's death. But will it be enough to convict him? Once again, here's Jim Avila.
2020 didn't choose this music, Matt did. This 2005 hit song is literally the soundtrack to Matt Baker's hidden affair with Vanessa Bowles. It's titled Dirty Little Secret. And Matt's mistress testified that's what she became.
He sent me song lyrics, "I'll keep you my dirty little secret, don't tell anyone or you'll be just another regret."
Matt's replacement woman, Vanessa, says she didn't realize how dirty and how dangerous a secret she was keeping until the morning after Carrie's death.
I was shocked because I think a part of me thought that maybe he wouldn't go through with it. We got in the car and we went to the Datelines to offer our condolences. And as we left, he was taking his daughter Grace outside, and as we drove by, I looked out the backseat and waved, and he winked at me.
Matt and Vanessa's love affair was now off to the races, say prosecutors. They went shopping for engagement rings. Called to the stand K jewelry store clerk Heather Sigler.
She tried on about 4 or 5 rings, asked his opinion. He was asking someone behind the jewelry counter about a trade-in and how much he could possibly get a discount on another ring.
But the affair soon came to an end when Vanessa had second thoughts about both Matt and the cover-up. She broke up with him on the phone.
I told him I never want to see you again, and he became irate. He started saying, "I killed my wife for you, and now you're leaving."
As much as Vanessa's testimony sounded like a slam dunk for prosecutors, the jury told 2020 what this school teacher with a dirty little secret feared would happen did. She was despicable and hard to believe. Foreperson Kim Wollard.
I had a hard time believing Vanessa Bowles.
But there's independent evidence to back up Vanessa's story. First, her account about Matt Baker's attempt on his wife's life with the poison milkshake. It was corroborated by an email the preacher sent her.
Oh, well, the ice cream must have been bad.
The email from Matt says he'll put more chocolate in it next time.
How would she know that Carrie liked chocolate milkshakes if he hadn't told her? What she said was kind of proven by the emails.
The jury says Matt's own voice helped them make their decision.
Do I need to go unlock the front door?
We couldn't hear any change of inflection when he was doing CPR.
I need to get a hold of her parents.
And since then, I've actually tried to do CPR and such and talk at the same time, and I can't do it without you hearing it in my voice.
In that period of time when he should have been doing the CPR, 197-pound woman and dead weight, and he was dressing her, it just didn't seem possible.
The jury deliberated long into the night.
Then it will rise.
But in the end, it took them just 8 hours to decide Matt Baker's fate.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Matt D. Baker, guilty of the offense of murder as alleged in the indictment.
The sentence, 65 years in prison, a verdict and future that seemed to stun Matt Baker.
I truly believe in my innocence. I believe the jury made a mistake in this.
That's all the minister who told his story in magazines and on television ever said to the jury. He never took the stand.
Matt, any comment on the verdict? Any comment on the verdict? Anything to say, Matt? Anything to say, Matt?
But now Pastor Baker regrets his silence and sat down with 2020 after the guilty verdict to admit he made two big mistakes, cheating on his wife and lying about it.
I'm coming clean on the lying about Vanessa. I made a mistake. I'm human. I was having a tough spot in my marriage, and I took the chicken way out. But I would never have hurt my wife. I never did. I never laid a hand on her, ever.
But here you are in prison, and that lie may be the reason why you're here.
And it might be.
Because after that, the jury didn't believe you. And your own attorney stood up there and said, you're a bad guy.
I'm not particularly proud of Matt Baker. He's in this spot because he kept lying, trying to stay away from being a preacher who had an affair.
You told your attorney you had no affair with Vanessa Bowles. Why?
I think that was my protecting of my kids. That was what I was telling myself, that was a way to keep my kids safe. And it was wrong.
But they knew about Vanessa Bowles. Vanessa Bowles wouldn't be a surprise to them.
It would have been that we had any relationship, because to them there was no relationship, if that makes sense.
You convinced a very skeptical, cynical attorney and a couple cynical reporters that there was no affair. How is it that a minister was so good at lying?
See, I didn't see myself good at lying. When I watched what I did watch, I could tell I wasn't telling the truth on that. I saw it in my own face.
Didn't it come easy for you?
No, not at all.
And sometimes he wasn't that good at it. His credibility seriously strained in this exchange about shopping for those wedding rings 2 weeks after Carrie's death.
Well, and I will say this, we never looked for engagement rings.
She didn't try on engagement rings?
I never saw her try on engagement rings. I'm there looking for earrings for Grace.
That story's complete bogus. I read about that in the Waco Tribune-Herald. We never went there for earrings.
So you observed Matt with this blonde woman trying on rings, right?
So do you think Vanessa and the jewelry store shop person got together to concoct this story?
No, if she was trying on rings, I don't know. I'm looking for earrings for my daughter, so.
Ah, Vanessa Bowles. What does Matt Baker think of her now?
Here she is, someone who you thought was very special to you.
Could have been.
And in your mind, she must have been betraying you.
I don't know if I honestly felt it was betrayal. That wasn't in my mind, because it wasn't like we had a deal or anything like that.
But when you're sitting there and you're watching her attack the very heart of your defense,
right,
rather effectively, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking, which story do you believe? The one she tells the police, the one she tells the private investigator? Every story was different.
He was a complete, and still is, a manipulative liar who took me, my vulnerable state, and made me believe everything he said.
What's her motive, Matt? What does she have to gain by lying?
I do believe that she was threatened. I do believe that she was presented with, if you don't testify against Matt Baker, that we'll arrest you for conspiracy for murder and prosecute you. And she was fearful of that. She was young enough and immature enough and scared enough that that's what she decided to do. And the DA gave her just enough information to make up a story.
Matt Baker is hoping to find a new attorney to appeal his case on the grounds that Guy James Gray gave up on him after discovering the pastor lied about the affair. It is true Gray barely spoke to Matt during the trial and told 2020 afterwards that while he thinks Vanessa's a liar too, he had no real gripe with the jury's guilty verdict.
Are you at peace with the verdict?